Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This world has seen countless great ulama over the ages, and every one of them had some salient feature that endeared them to the ummah. For some it was their piety, others it was their character. Some were characterized by their unwavering stances, and some were known for never pandering to the whims of people. And then you had those that were just perfect in all of those fields. One such alim was Imam Kamaluddin Muhammad ibn Humamuddin Abdul Wahid As-Siwasi, but he is famously known as Imam Al-Kamaal ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah. Imam Al-Kamaal ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah was born in the year 790 after Hijrah in the city of Alexandria in Egypt, although he was not an Egyptian by ethnicity. Imam Al-Kamaal ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah was actually of Turkish descent. His family hails from the city known as Sivas, which is located in central Turkey, and from there they had traveled to Egypt and settled in Alexandria due to the fact that Imam ibn al-Humaam's father, who was a Qadi in Sivas, was then appointed as the Qadi of Alexandria. Upon being appointed as the Hanafi Qadi over there, Imam ibn al-Humaam's father soon married the daughter of the Qadi of the Malikis, and it is from that union that Imam Al-Kamaal ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah was born. Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah came from a home of ulama where his father, his paternal grandfather and maternal grandfather all were not just ulama, but they were in fact officially appointed as Qadis of the Islamic State. So it is no surprise then to find that Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah was naturally inclined towards studying the deen from a young age. When Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah was only 10 years old, his father passed away. So he was taken in and raised by his maternal grandmother. She herself was a pious woman that was very attached to the Quran and had memorized a large portion of the Quran as well. So she took it upon herself to ensure that Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah does not get deprived of his dini studies. And so she had him begin his memorization of the Quran under the Imam of the Jami' Masjid in Alexandria. But while he was still busy memorizing the Quran, Imam ibn al-Humaam's grandmother took him from Alexandria to Cairo. And during this period in Cairo, he completed his memorization of the Quran. He learned the laws of Tajweed. And besides this, he also memorized the entire Mukhtasar of Imam Al-Quduri Rahimahullah in fiqh, as well as memorizing the entire Manarul Anwar of Imam Al-Nasafi Rahimahullah on Usulul Fiqh. Besides this, Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah also memorized the Alfiyya of Imam ibn Malik and Al-Mufassalu fi Nahu of Imam Az-Zamakhshari Rahimahumullah, both of which were on the laws of Arabic grammar. Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah memorized all of this at that young age. Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah now returned to Alexandria with his grandmother, and he continued his studies in Arabic, and then he began studying Al-Hidayah of Imam Al-Marghinani Rahimahullah in fiqh. Once again, Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah returned to Cairo to continue his studies, this time studying just about every science of the deen from all the ulama that he could find. Amongst the many teachers of Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah at this point in time was the great Imam Badruddin al-Aini Rahimahullah. Another famous teacher that Imam ibn al-Humaam had at this juncture was Imam Waliyuddin Abu Zur'a al-Iraqi Rahimahullah. He was the son of the famous Hafiz al-Iraqi Rahimahullah. Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah also studied for a while under the Hafiz Imam ibn Hajar al-Asqalani Rahimahullah. When a person looks at the caliber of teachers that Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah had, then a person needs to also look at the caliber of students that had studied under Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah as well. The list of students of Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah that became well known is very large. But if a person were to just single out 5 names from that list, then it will give a person an understanding of the type of students that were attracted by Imam ibn al-Humaam Rahimahullah. Amongst those students was Imam Qasim ibn Qutlubugha Rahimahullah, Imam Shamsuddin al-Sakhawi Rahimahullah, Imam Jalaluddin al-Suyuti Rahimahullah, Imam Zakaria al-Ansari Rahimahullah, and Imam ibn Amir Haj Rahimahumullah. Each of these ulama were giants in their own right, and all of them were proud students of Imam Al-Kamaal ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah. The ulama have described Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah as really being Kamaal, which means perfection, because he had reached perfection in everything he did. Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah was known for having a wonderful voice. Whether he recited the Quran or read out poetry, it was something that would make people stop in order to listen to it. That's how his voice would draw people. Like all the ulama of old, ilm went hand in hand with tasawwuf. Even the ulama like Imam ibn Taymiyyah and Imam ibn Qayyim rahimahumullah were known for this. Because knowledge without practice and without purification of the nafs is not true knowledge, because it is solely lacking the purpose behind obtaining that knowledge. So Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah followed the path of tasawwuf until he reached the level as being the Shaykh of the Shuyukh, as the head of the Khanqa Ash-Shaykhuniyah in Cairo. If there's one thing about Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah that stands out above everything else, and that he was always known for, it would be his absolute humility. Real, genuine humility, not the fake kind that people often tend to find in today's times. And a person sees the effects of this humility even in the titles of the kitabs as well as in the writing itself of Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah. The most famous kitab that Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah had written was an explanation of Al-Hidayah of Imam Al-Marghinani Rahimahullah. He named this kitab Fat'hul Qadeer lil-Ajiz al-Faqir. Most people simply know it as Fat'hul Qadeer, but to translate the name of this kitab, it basically is saying that it is an opening from Allah the All-Powerful for the feeble pauper. Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah refers to himself as a feeble pauper that was only able to write this with the assistance of Allah. There were no airs and graces and claiming to be the man for having written the kitab, but rather it was filled with a sense of gratitude to Allah for having granted him the ability to write the kitab despite feeling himself to be undeserving of it. It was in the year 861 after Hijrah, while writing Fat'hul Qadeer, that Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah passed away, when he was done with only about 3/4 of the kitab. And the kitab was later on completed by Imam Qadi Zada Rahimahullah. Imam ibn Al-Humaam Rahimahullah was truly one of those ulama that were unanimously loved by all those that came into contact with him because of his great knowledge and his impeccable character. May Allah guide us to the path of righteousness and instill within us the ability to practice upon our knowledge and to protect us from the evils of our nafs. آمين يا رب العالمين وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.